Imagine a world without phrases like break the ice, a heart of gold, or all that glitters is not gold, it's hard, right? Well, we owe these and thousands more to one man. Join us as we journey back in time to uncover the life of the world's most famous playwright, the one and only William Shakespeare. Our story begins not on a grand stage, but in the quiet, charming market town of Stratford-upon-Avon. On April 23, 1564, a baby boy named William was born to John and Mary Shakespeare. His house, a sturdy timber-framed building on Henley Street, still stands today, a testament to his humble beginnings. His father, John, wasn't just a glove maker. He was a respected figure in the community, eventually rising to become the mayor or high bailiff of Stratford. This meant young William likely grew up in a household that valued civic duty and public life. He would have attended the local grammar school, King's New School, where he'd have received a rigorous education in Latin classics. This classical training would become the bedrock of his later work, weaving ancient stories and philosophies into his plays. At the age of 18, he made a decision that would shape his personal life forever. He married Anne Hathaway, a woman 8 years his senior. Their first child, Susanna, was born just 6 months later, followed by twins Hamnet and Judith. But the quiet life of a family man in a small town was not Shakespeare's ultimate destiny. Sometime in the late 1580s, Shakespeare disappears from the historical record. For about 7 years, we have no definitive proof of where he was or what he was doing. These are famously known as the lost years. Was he a schoolmaster in the countryside? Did he travel through Europe with a troupe of actors? Did he get into trouble and have to flee Stratford? The mystery only adds to his legend. Whatever he was doing, he was honing the skills that would soon take London by storm. By 1592, the mystery is over. Shakespeare bursts onto the London scene, but not everyone is rolling out the red carpet. A rival playwright, Robert Greene, famously called him an upstart crow, jealous of this talented newcomer who was shaking up the established order. But criticism couldn't stop the force of nature that was Shakespeare. He wasn't just writing, he was acting, and he was a shareholder in an acting company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men. London in the late 16th century was a chaotic, vibrant, and dangerous city. It was a melting pot of rich and poor, a place of immense opportunity and devastating plague outbreaks that would periodically shut down the theatres. It was in this dynamic environment that Shakespeare's career flourished. He wrote comedies, tragedies, and histories at a staggering pace, capturing the full spectrum of human emotion. Early hits like Romeo and Juliet and A Midsummer Night's Dream captivated audiences with their blend of romance, poetry, and drama. The Lord Chamberlain's Men needed a permanent home, a stage worthy of their leading playwright's genius. So, in 1599, they did something revolutionary. They dismantled their old theatre and, using the original timbers, built a new one on the south bank of the River Thames. They called it the Globe. This iconic open-air circular theatre became the epicenter of English drama. Picture it, thousands of people from all walks of life crammed together. The wealthy sat in the covered galleries, while the common folk, known as groundlings, stood in the open yard for just a penny, often heckling the actors and getting caught in the rain. On this very stage, some of the greatest works of literature came to life for the first time. Imagine the hushed silence during Hamlet's to be or not to be soliloquy, the roar of laughter during Twelfth Night, or the collective gasp at the tragic fate of King Lear, Shakespeare's company, later known as the King's Men under the patronage of King James I, became the most successful of its day, and Shakespeare himself grew not just famous, but wealthy. His genius wasn't just in storytelling, it was in his profound understanding of the human condition. His characters are not just kings and queens. They are jealous lovers, ambitious politicians, grieving parents, and witty fools. They are complex, flawed, and deeply relatable, which is why they still resonate with us over 400 years later. He was a master of language, inventing new words and phrases that enriched the English language forever. Words like eyeball, swagger, and lonely all made their first known appearance in his works. He played with grammar, structure, and rhythm, creating a poetic style that was uniquely his own. After 2 decades of unparalleled success in the bustling capital, an older, more prosperous Shakespeare began to turn his thoughts back toward home. He had wisely invested his London earnings back in Stratford, buying property and land. His crowning purchase was New Place, the second largest house in the entire town. He was no longer just the glovemaker's son. He was a gentleman, a respected and wealthy landowner. He continued to write, but his later plays, often called the romances, have a different tone. Works like The Tempest are filled with a sense of magic, forgiveness, and reconciliation. It's as if Shakespeare, in the twilight of his career, was looking back on his own life, making peace with the world before taking his final bow. In one of his last plays, Prospero, the magician, famously breaks his staff and declares, "Our revels now are ended," a line many see as Shakespeare's own farewell to the stage. Around 1613, Shakespeare retired to Stratford for good, to live out his days as a country gentleman with his family. Then, on April 23, 1616, his 52nd birthday, William Shakespeare died. He was buried in the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford, the same church where he had been baptized. His gravestone bears a curious curse, warning away anyone who might dare to move his bones, a common practice at the time. But, of course, that wasn't the end. His true legacy was just beginning. 7 years after his death, his friends and fellow actors John Heminges and Henry Condell gathered his plays together. Without their efforts, masterpieces like Macbeth and The Tempest might have been lost forever. They published them in a single volume known as the First Folio. Today, Shakespeare's work is the most performed and translated in the world, second only to the Bible. His stories have been endlessly adapted into films, ballets, operas, and novels. From high school students reading Romeo and Juliet for the first time to scholars dedicating their lives to his sonnets. His influence is inescapable. He gave us a language to describe our deepest fears and our greatest joys. He created characters who feel as real and relevant today as they did in Elizabethan England. He held, as he wrote himself, a mirror up to nature, and in it we can all see a piece of ourselves. The boy from Stratford became more than just a playwright. He became the soul of an age and a voice for all time. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the life of the Bard. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. Let us know in the comments which of Shakespeare's plays is your favourite. We'll see you in the next one.